Hey boys, welcome back to the show. It's been 2 weeks. Things have been super hectic. Things have been super lame and dry. The NFL offseason has come to a complete halt, full of nothing but just straight uncertainty as we don't even know if we're going to be having a football season in 2020. And if we do, it could be vastly different with the absence of fans and all of that nonsense. But I'm going to get back on my A game. We're going to be talking so much more Saints football coming in to September, which will be the next time we see football played because, as you guys may have heard, there will be no preseason this year, which is a big loss for some guys like Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston who would use preseason as a ground to show their skill level, and we won't be able to see that. As fans, it sucks, but if that's what we need to do to get the NFL and the players on the same page as far as advancing into September and maybe having a constructive NFL season, I'll take it. Today we're going to be talking about something that I do every year, and this is probably one of my favorite topics to talk about, and it's did the New Orleans Saints get better or worse in said year? And this year we're going to be doing 2020. Because our free agency and draft has concluded, there will be no more big splash signings or anything like that. The trade deadline has hit, all of that nonsense. We're not going to be making any big moves is what I'm trying to say. And that's okay because we already did all that we needed to do to make sure that we succeed in the upcoming season. So the question I have today is, did the New Orleans Saints get better or worse in 2020? And we're going to be going over that. That's what we're going to be going over. So the first thing I'd like to talk about are our major gains and our major losses, and then I'm going to compare some of our gains to our losses in a replacement aspect, and we're going to go over if we gained or lost more, like which side of the scale is tipped more, the gains or the losses. So our major gains read as follow: Malcolm Jenkins, Emmanuel Sanders, Jameis Winston, Ty Montgomery, Cesar Ruiz, Zach Bond, and Adam Trautman. Our major losses read as follow: Von Bell, Eli Apple, Teddy Bridgewater, Keith Kirkwood, and A.J. Klein. So we have some players we could compare here. I'm going to start off with Malcolm Jenkins and Von Bell. We lost Von Bell, gained Malcolm Jenkins. The thing that we gained with Malcolm Jenkins that really makes him a more valuable player right now, in my opinion, is his leadership. He is an amazing leader, someone that finally solidifies our secondary to have someone old enough to tell these young dudes how to act instead of acting with emotion and nothing more. He had 81 tackles and 2.5 sacks last year, and he will make a fantastic replacement for Von Bell. We take a loss in the run defense department, but we get a massive boost in coverage with someone like Malcolm Jenkins. He had a 90.8 coverage grade with Von Bell having a 60 coverage grade last year. So when you look at it like this, you have to think of one thing. Was Von Bell the heart and soul of our run defense? No. We had one of the best run defensive-based defensive lines last season, and that will continue into this year. We also gained somebody like Zach Bond, who is a pure run defender, so losing Von Bell in that aspect doesn't hurt very much at all. But one thing that I did see was Von Bell getting absolutely torched in coverage last year. Go watch that play of Emmanuel Sanders doing us dirty against the San Francisco 49ers. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So we gain a really smart and a really competitive leader in Malcolm Jenkins, who is older, wiser, can give more direction, and even play better coverage than Von Bell. I don't see any way that we lost in the loss of Von Bell and the gain of Malcolm Jenkins. I think that we got better in that aspect for sure. The next player that we gained is Emmanuel Sanders, and the only comparative loss here that we took is Keith Kirkwood, and Keith Kirkwood is some booty butt cheeks and never stepped on the field anyway because of how injured he was. So with Emmanuel Sanders, you can just say that we had no loss at wide receiver, just the gain of Emmanuel Sanders, who is finally a reliable wide receiver too. He had 869 yards and 5 touchdowns playing with Jimmy Garoppolo's booty butt cheek self and Joe Flacco, who is 2 seasons away from being in the retirement home, and those 2 seasons will be spent doing absolutely nothing but riding the bench because he is literally dumpster juice. So we gained Emmanuel Sanders. That is something that tips the scale all the way over to got better in my opinion. but we can cover more going down this list because I'm sure you guys are interested to see what players we gained and what players we lost in a comparative aspect to really put the nail in the coffin on the New Orleans Saints getting better. We lost Eli Apple. Let's move on. We got Jameis Winston in replacement, and not even in direct replacement, but as another quarterback to have on the roster, and lost Teddy Bridgewater. In my opinion, Jameis Winston is better than Teddy Bridgewater. Okay, I'm sorry. He's a better playmaker, has a better arm, is more accurate. I know he throws a lot of interceptions. He has a pea brain, but that's something that Sean Payton and company can work on, and he can groom into being an actual really good what do they call it? Gunslinger quarterback that can do a lot more than Teddy Bridgewater is even close to being capable of. Teddy Bridgewater is nothing more than a game manager and will always be a game manager. Jameis Winston threw 30 touchdowns and 5,000 yards in the same season. Of course, he had 30 interceptions there too, but if you work that number down, he can be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Say it's high praise all you want, but that's just how I feel about it. We added Ty Montgomery, who is a really, really, really great gadget player. We added Cesar Ruiz, who only allowed 0 sacks in 2019. So not even only. The dude allowed no sacks in 2019. Coming into the NFL should be a fantastic offensive line to bolster our already great offensive line. So that's another gain right there. The last player that we lost is A.J. Klein. A.J. Klein. We drafted Zach Bond. Zach Bond is literally, Zach Bond, who is 6'3", 225 pounds, is an extremely explosive athlete who had 12.5 sacks last year. 12.5 sacks last year for Wisconsin. I would take him over A.J. Klein's slow self any day, who I had to watch get burnt in coverage 765 times within the last 2 years. So that's an improvement right there. And then on top of that, with no other losses on the board, the New Orleans Saints traded a bunch of draft picks, which will come into light as a really good decision to draft Adam Trautman, who had 70 receptions, 916 yards, and 14 touchdowns in 2019, and played for Dayton. So you give Drew Brees a dude like this that is capable of producing those numbers at a small school? I don't even want to get started at how much more dynamic this New Orleans Saints offense is going to be next year. You added somebody like Jameis Winston, Ty Montgomery, Emmanuel Sanders, Adam Trautman, Cesar Ruiz, and you get so many bolsters at points you didn't even need them at, except for Emmanuel Sanders, but they still make you excel that much more, because when you're as good of a team as the New Orleans Saints are, you're not always focused on filling up holes. You're focused on padding up places that could need a little bit more padding. Jared Cook, now you got Adam Trautman. Eric McCoy, now you got Cesar Ruiz. Ty Montgomery, he's just a gadget player. Emmanuel Sanders is one of the best number 2 wide receivers we could have asked for, if not the best out of free agency. Losing Von Bell, we had Malcolm Jenkins to replace that. Losing Teddy Bridgewater, we get Jameis Winston to replace that. Losing Keith Kirkwood, we got Emmanuel Sanders to replace that. Losing A.J. Klein, we got Zach Bond to replace that. Not to mention Ty Montgomery, Cesar Ruiz, Adam Trautman. There are so many additions that this team made. It is impossible for me to sit here and say that the New Orleans Saints did not get better in 2020, and that's all you can ask for, really, is your team to take a step in the right direction every offseason, and that is what the New Orleans Saints continuously do on a year-in, year-out basis and never disappoint. They never disappoint in this aspect, and that's something I have to chalk up my praise to Mickey Loomis and Sean Payton for, because they have one of the best commanding front offices I have ever seen, and they're doing a fantastic job at making this team a Super Bowl contender for years to come. And I'm loving every single second of it. So you guys are all entitled to your own opinion, of course. Let me know down in the comment section below if this team took a step forward in your opinion or a step backward. I'm always curious as to what you guys have to say. Comment your reasoning. Let me know all of that fantastic jazz down in the comment section below. I read all of them. I respond to almost all of them. I try to get all of them under my belt. But yeah. Go ahead and comment down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so sorry for being gone for 2 weeks. I promise you I'm going to start making videos on a regular basis again, because Lord knows when there's not enough football talk, all you got to do, put the pedal to the floor and make it yourself. Thank you, boys, so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios. Stop recording. Stop recording. Oh, God. It's not pressing. It's not pressing. Okay, bye, guys.